Yeah. What's up, y'all? This is Splendid Radio on PharcydeTV. We got guest DJ DJ House Shoes. You know what I'm saying? What's up? And the co-host Jeremy Scipio. What's up, y'all? So what's up, Shoes, man? I appreciate you tapping in.
Hey, man, good to be here, man. Appreciate you. I'm chilling. I'm at the crib, man. I just actually shot a little commercial today at the crib all day. I got a beer coming out in a few weeks. So,
oh man,
yeah, just trying different shit. You know what I mean? You meet people, and it provides you different opportunities to do different shit. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, we moving in a whole different time, man. Every opportunity is truly an opportunity.
Word up.
Yeah, I'm all about that. Is it gonna be a IPA?
Yeah, it's like a hazy IPA. It's gonna be like 8%. It's called Uncle Shoes IPA.
Hey,
incredibly popping ale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. 8% is about where I start. You know what I'm saying? I started at a nice 8% beer, and then up to about a 12.
Word up. Hell yeah. Yeah, we ain't going too crazy like that. You know, it's the first one. We're gonna see how it goes though.
You want to hear something?
What were you drinking? And you was just like, I could do better.
Right, we need about another 0.5% on this motherfucker right
here. You know, something crazy. Do you know Omar from with Taco Nazo?
Name sound familiar, but I be, back in them days of going out and talking to people actually in the public.
Yeah. Well,
drinking erases a lot of fucking memories, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he has a taco spot, and they got their liquor license, but just for like beer, maybe like beer and wine, because I know all he had was beers. And he had this thing called it's called barley wine.
Oh, that heavy.
Oh, come on, man. It was like,
and ain't that literally, that's just the name changes when it goes beyond a certain percentage, right?
Yeah. It was either 12 or 14, but I know they can only give you like a almost like a cognac glass of it. Yeah. No, they can't let you go wild with it, man.
Right.
Yeah, and I found myself, I wanted to post it online because it's about 10 minutes from my office going to the house.
Word.
But then I was like, man, I kind of don't want to blow up the spot, man. I like my little serenity, able to watch.
Keep my secrets, right? Keep them fucking secrets, yo. You can't give it all up. You know what I mean?
Watch the game, eat my chips and sauce, and sip on some 12% beer. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
That's cool. So tell me this: what part of Detroit are you from?
I'm not actually from the city. Solid. The city stops at 8 Mile.
Okay.
I grew up between 11 and 12 Mile, so like 3 miles north, Southfield, Michigan. It borders Detroit from 8 Mile to like 12 Mile. You know what I mean?
Downtown and South Central.
Word up. Absolutely. There you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, but grandma was in Southwest. You know what I mean? We'd always be over there on the holidays and shit. And as soon as I was of age, I was in the city. You know what I mean?
Cool. So I know I date myself every time I ask this question, but what did you feel the first time you heard hip hop, and what was the hip hop song that you heard when you put it this way? I won't say you had to do the whole comprehension of what hip hop was, but rap music.
Right. So I was in the 5th grade. Earthquake. Oh, thank you, baby. I was in like 5th grade, like early in the year. And being in Southfield at that time, this was like 1984, maybe, you know what I mean? It was, my elementary school was pretty lily white, you know what I mean? It's pretty monochrome, you know what I'm saying? This cat moved to Southfield from New York. Homie, his name was Ron Garrison. And Father MC was his uncle.
Dang, Father MC was called.
And he had all the tapes. He had fucking Houdini, he had Run DMC, he had Fat Boys, Ice-T, you know what I mean? And it was like, this is it right here. Like, out of all the music I had been, you know, privy to hear up to my life at that point, I was like, it's time to get focused. You know what I'm saying? I feel this shit.
Yeah.
What was the first? Oh, go ahead, sir.
Jeremy.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What was the first record you ever purchased?
I couldn't tell you like literally the very first record that I purchased. Because I mean, shit, I was probably like fucking like 5 or 6 years old. My parents divorced when I was young, and I would go to my father's house on the weekend, and we would go to this record shop called Peaches Records. And I would get like a couple 45s, you know what I mean? So I had like a handful of 45s. I will tell you this, I can't actually remember. The first record I ever had in my life was the Three Little Pigs. Walt Disney record, Three Little Pigs. The first hip hop record that I ever bought on vinyl, interestingly enough, was I was buying tapes. Tapes was my thing. When I started buying records, I bought the Skinny Boys first album. We all motherfuckers don't know about the Skinny Boys.
Get Pep, come on.
Connecticut, you know what I mean? The name of the album was Weightless. Okay. And I want to say it was like 1986. And they had a beatbox who went by the name of the Human Jockbox. And we used to argue like who was iller between the beatbox, Jockbox, I forget homie on the Jazzy Jeff records, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. Skinny Boys. And that motherfucker, I didn't even know because people been talking about this workaholic shit for years. And I finally watched it. I'm like, yo, Skinny Boys. Well, at first you're like, Skinny Boys get a check. But then you're like, oh, you know they probably don't own that publishing anymore. You know what I mean? Like whoever owns that shit's getting the check. Great check. They play that shit like 4 or 5 times through the course of the show, every episode. You know what I mean?
Oh wow, dang. Yeah, no, Skinny Boys are my I say they're one in my top 5.
Man, that was my shit, man.
Get Pepped is incredible to me, man. Woo. That's incredible.
Great list. That shit was fire, man.
Yeah. So what was junior high school like for you?
Junior high was dope. It was refreshing to not, be looking into a mirror every motherfucking day. You know what I mean? Like my middle school was much more lack of a better word, integrated than my elementary school was. So that's one of the things that I'm most grateful about in my life is coming up in Southfield, just outside of Detroit. I grew up with every kind of motherfucker you can imagine. You know what I mean? Like white, black, Jewish, Asian, Latino, fucking whatever the fuck, Arab, you know what I mean? Like you can't feel no kind of way about people when you're raised around all of them. You know what I'm saying? Of course, this motherfucker might be a cocksucker, but it ain't because he's an Arab. Like this Jewish motherfucker's a cocksucker too. You know what I mean? And so is this motherfucker too.
It comes from the heart, not the ethnicity or the culture.
Yeah, man. We all people, man.
Yeah. So what kind of music were you listening to?
Middle school was hip hop. Yo, from fifth grade on, I listened to hip hop. That's it. Up until I was in high school, and then high school got to be on some like reverse engineering. Like, yo, that sample's crazy. You know what I mean? Like I sat down one day and wrote down all the samples that were cleared and all the fucking tapes and CDs I had and the records. I wrote down every sample. And that's how I started digging, you know what I mean? So hip hop has informed me on all styles of music. Like it'll fuck you up if I tell you, like, being a white motherfucker from just outside of Detroit growing up, I heard all these songs for the first time on rap records. Wow. You know what I mean? Like the first time I heard this Parliament shit was on a fucking hip hop record. First time I heard this was on America's Most Wanted. First time I heard this was on, Tribe's first record. That's how my life was completely informed musically, through hip hop.
I'll say this. For what you've been able to accomplish, you're incredible, man. You definitely beat the curve, man. You definitely beat the curve, man. If that's where you heard it, you start listening. Because for me, I'll say LA party scene, 90-ish. I was called the DJ, but that was strictly because I was the PharcydeT's homeboy. Man, I wasn't dope. You know what I'm saying? But guys like Daz put me on, Al Jackson, like those were the dudes that would play the rare grooves.
Right.
You hear like some Samande, you'd hear like all these dope old cuts.
Yep.
And it'll be like, whoa. And like it blew my mind. And then let's say maybe about I'll say 90, like 88, 89, 90, I just remember hearing different people produce, like local producers, dudes around LA. Right. And I just remember how the drums would sound so dope off the SP. Like the SP, absolutely, the drums would just hit so hard. Yeah. And like I didn't even know anything about producing or nothing like that. I just knew that if you wanted to make beats, that was kind of like what you got at the time, along with other stuff. So for you, like, I knew that you were a DJ. I really didn't know too much about the production and all that kind of stuff. Right. But like, as a DJ, how did you make the transition into? It wasn't
production? A transition. I started making beats and DJing pretty much at the exact same time.
Oh wow!
Because the first crew that I was down with was this crew called 31, short for 31 Flavors. And the two cats who made the beats was Beej and Spot. Beej, some of y'all might know about Beej. He was on Welcome to Detroit, JD record. They used to make these crazy ass beats, man, on fucking 4-track. This big ass Tascam 4-track and this little shitty ass keyboard. And it was like a sampler that ran off of a 9-volt battery. But you could sample for like 16 seconds on that bitch. You could speed it up, slow it down. So they let me borrow that motherfucker like 94. It was like maybe early 94, right after I got kicked out of school, just fucking around, still living with my moms. And like, fuck, I can do this shit too. Okay.
What was the first event you DJ'd?
Literally the first event that I ever DJ'd. I wouldn't really call it an event. It was more so the first time. But the last day of school in 6th grade.
Hey, that's an event.
And I had one of them, like the stereos that had the turntable on top, the dual cassette, the CD player, and the AM/FM radio. So I wasn't really DJing per se. I would like play a joint off a record, and then I'd have a tape queued up, and I'd play that next, and then we would play some shit off the CD next. You know what I mean? But it was literally like it was me and like 3 of my friends. You know what I mean?
That's more DJing than what they do nowadays. So you good?
Real shit. Yeah, you ain't a DJ if you pull your phone out when it's time to go to work.
Right.
So after moving to LA, and then like doing the transition of being in Detroit music, being in LA music, I know in LA that there was artists that like were around, but they didn't necessarily blow up. You know what I'm saying? But it was dudes who were around at the Good Life. There was guys that were around at different places. It was guys who
there was guys at the hip hop shop. There was guys, you know what I mean? We all every area has that.
Who are some of those guys from Detroit that you feel the world should have heard? You know what I'm saying? Man. Like MCs.
B-Flat. Mm-hmm. B-Flat was crazy. B-Flat was like our Biz Markie, but he was way more of like a actual like sharpshooter on the raps. Okay. But he could do shit with a lot of humor that would be crazy. Fuzz Scooter. Funny enough, I actually got Fuzz Scooter's demo tape. I keep it right here. This is from 1995.
Wow.
As the house who's my favorite DJ. So Fuzz Scooter is who Eminem got the Slim Shady style from. Because if you listen to the first Eminem album, the Infinite shit, he was like rapping like AZ on that shit. That's why I didn't really care for it. But But yeah, Fuzz Scooter is very, very important. Just that influence is very important because without that, it may have never happened for him. You know what I'm saying? Who else? Shit. Beej. Homie Beej was crazy. Dilla wanted to fuck with Beej. He was the cat I told you about that he was one of the primary influences on me making beats on a 4-track, just trying to do what he was doing. But Jay wanted to fuck with him super tough, but he was in a group at the time, and the deal was just gonna be for him solo, and God bless him, you know what I mean? Like, it was like my group or nothing. So that shit never happened. That's 3. I mean, there's countless motherfuckers, man.
Yeah.
Countless. You know what I mean?
Right. What was it like to be acknowledged at the Detroit Music Awards?
I mean, it's cool. It's just something to put on the shelf and show your mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit really, at the end of the day, don't mean shit.
I mean,
like a lot of those awards are usually given to like the wrong people, so I hope I wasn't the wrong person that got it that year. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm sure you did a little something.
You won like 3 years in a row.
I won Best DJ in Detroit the year after I moved to LA. Like, I won that shit like 3 or 4 times, but I'm like, man, come on, y'all motherfuckers is crazy. I don't even live there no more, man. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Do some fucking homework. Crazy.
That's funny.
So working at the record shop.
Yeah.
So working at a record shop and then also DJing. But
crackhead working in a crack house.
So you had a lot of people bringing you records to break and all that kind of stuff.
Honestly, nah, not really. Like, it used to be kind of. It was hard to get them records, man, because like the actual labels, they didn't give a fuck about a motherfucker playing that shit. They wanted that shit on college radio. Like, I remember numerous labels. I'd be like, they'd be like, you had college radio? And at that time, I didn't have it. I had it later, but by then I already had plugs to all the records, so it didn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they weren't hunting me down like that. They should have been, because I mean, I was buying the shit anyway. Like, my whole goal from Saturday morning until Friday night was to scour the fucking city and find all the heat. That's all. I don't give a fuck about anybody in that club except those records. Like, I'm playing the shit that touched me the most this week, and I want all y'all motherfuckers to hear it. I don't give a fuck about party time. Like, y'all about to get this heat. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Well, shit. If you kept the club full, if everybody just didn't decide, bro, we're gonna listen to something else.
Like, bro, it was like I used to break records on the motherfucking ground, bro. Like, it was a transition. The shit split. Like, it was way earlier than people would think. I can tell you, I remember the day that shit changed. It was the 3rd Friday in May of 1996. How about that? That date is always stuck in my mind because it wasn't some real crazy shit that went down. It was just, there was something after that Friday that was never there again. You know what I mean? It was absence. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was on this money mission and fame and hoes and all that funny shit. Music's all that mattered to me. You know what I mean? But when the music started getting whack and motherfuckers started chasing singles and platinum records, I would take that shit and break that motherfucker on the ground, on the stage. Like, the first record I ever broke was If I Ruled the World. Nas. A lot of motherfuckers' favorite song they ever heard in their life.
Jeremy.
I was like, fuck this record, man. I was like, how you go from Illmatic to that fucking bright ray of sunshine? Like, make that shit the second single or something, man.
You know what? Ironically, not only is Nas my favorite artist,
he's terrible.
I actually skipped that record. I'm not a fan of that, and that's his biggest record. He's
the most frustrating motherfucker I'm controversial, remember, because I speak from the fucking heart.
I love to hear it.
Nas is one of the greatest examples of unrealized potential ever in rap music history.
Well, okay. People say
ever.
Beat. I've heard people say
you can't pick a beat, you're getting in your own way. You need to have a fucking A&R wash your hands after you take a piss or something. You know what I mean? Like,
but when you say when you say he can't pick a beat, but he's
batting
giving
average is horrible, bro.
I think he had producers that he worked with hand in hand, but that's not what the industry wanted. So he had to work with Pop, and since his transition to Def Jam, he's always worked with whatever producers in. But
None
before
of all that matters, bro, is the fact that I haven't been excited to listen to one of his songs in 20 years.
Man, you gotta check the new album, man.
I listened to it, and on some real shit, it took me about 7 minutes to go through the whole record because I'm about the beats. I don't give a fuck. You could say the greatest raps I've ever heard in my life.
Okay.
But if that shit ain't fucking hard, like I'm not. Have a good day. That's why his second best album in his catalog is The Lost Tapes, because you don't even put on your fucking records.
Absolutely. But please don't act like it stops there though. You gotta give me what's the one
songs with like 30, you got albums with like 32 songs and like 3 of them are good. Streets
Disciple.
Not a good record.
Cut it out. Come on, he get like 30,
maybe like
30 tracks.
4 songs on there I would play maybe.
I give you more. Come on, you gotta do more than that. You gotta
give
it a revisit.
Yeah, you remember when motherfuckers started saying that, yo, his album's cool, man. He got a few joints.
Right.
When that shit started happening, the normalization of whack shit, your album ain't cool if you only got a few joints. Your album, I got records, it could be a record where there's one song on that motherfucker that I love. But it's like, how the fuck you got one song on your record that I love? That one song don't even deserve to be on my show.
Right, but there's whole records that we had hits on that people won't play now. Like, let's be honest.
Who the fuck wants to hear Nas on a hit record? I don't want to hear a hit record from Nas. I want to hear a good record from Nas.
Right, but you understand that a lot of people like Nelly, like, don't nobody want to hear Nelly.
I don't see, and God bless the conversation. That's what we're here for. But I don't need to understand it because I'm 45 years old and listening to this motherfucker for the majority of my life. And I listen to the same 18 songs. And there's nothing to add to it. You know what I mean? Like the whole Illmatic, of course.
Okay.
Second Childhood.
Okay.
And I gotta pull up my computer after that. Nas is like, you know what I mean? I gave you power. Like all the real shit, man. I don't wanna. It was always so whack to me the thought of I want to make a record that somebody besides me likes. That's a dangerous thought in a creative's head. Why would you want to make a record that everybody loves? You gotta pour all this water on yourself to figure out how to do that. You know what I mean? Like,
do me this favor and revisit Streets Disciple and Hip Hop Is Dead, and come up with some. I bet you come out with some gems from there. From this perspective,
this
and
is
then that's it.
Thing.
I will never bother you again. I'll never bother you again.
Money. Like if I got 18 songs from a motherfucker, I'm cool with that.
Cool. That is true though. That's true. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree
time
with
that. Time is money, bro. You know what I mean? Like I would rather listen to that shit that I like over and over again than just go and get disappointed again and again and have that totally, strengthen my opinion on it. God bless him. Like I said, his pen is one of the absolute best in the art form of all time. Absolutely. But for me, and I don't speak shit as facts. This is all my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
His batting average is like, it might not even be 100, bro. I hate sports, but my music shit all comes from, what is your fucking batting average, man? For me, you can make shit for the bitches, you can make shit for these motherfuckers, that's cool. Just all that matters is what I want. I'm selfish.
Who do you feel like has the best batting average?
On some rapping?
Yep.
Jesus Christ, bro.
18, you gotta be 18. That can't be a hard number to beat.
I mean, Jay-Z is the easiest one to say. Like Jay-Z is corpse.
Yeah, of course.
That's easy.
And hold on one
personally
on the Jay-Z thing. That's what I wanted to bring up. The song Black Republicans.
Okay.
I listened to it yesterday.
Right.
Great track.
That song is hard.
Right.
The question I asked myself.
Look at him smiling.
No, that song is hard, man. That song is hard.
He's like, nah. Shoes. You wrong.
No, I mean, it's cool. It was a good record. It's just,
It's cool.
We gonna have to have Shoes come back, man. He's a very interesting perspective to this conversation, man.
I talk to you like, when we do this, I'm gonna keep it 100 like I'm talking to my homie. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I gotta be careful of what I say because I might hurt somebody's feelings. That's some bullshit. You gotta keep it 100 at all times.
Always.
If that makes me controversial, fuck these pussies, man.
When I was listening to Black Republican, the question I asked myself was Nas out rapping Jay-Z or was Jay-Z out rapping Nas? And I came with this. Jay-Z's flow at times was tighter, but Nas's lyrics, it kind of wasn't even a contest in that particular song. I'll just say that particular. I'll just say that.
You know why? Song. You know why? Because Nas had no other choice.
He didn't pick the beat.
He had no other choice, man. He's like, I can't let this motherfucker's career is already so much better than mine. I cannot I'm about to go for his fucking head on this shit.
Let's be more specific.
This motherfucker married Beyonce, man. I gotta body him on this song, yo.
I really feel like they was neck and neck.
No,
but the thing is, with hip hop is dead. That was to me, I am biased. That was a solid record through and through, and a lot of those songs were kind of formatted. You know what I mean, to where it could just flow. But with that track, Jay-Z kind of laid the foundation. You know what I mean? So it was kind of laid for Nas to just come through and kill it.
But
this motherfucker had the motherfucker that said time out and lost the national championship make a beat on his album, yo.
Hey, man.
Like, people forget that. It's not just Chris Webber. Chris Webber fucking said time out and lost the national championship, the NCAA championship. He said, you know what?
Nas is hard, man. Nas is hard, man.
He can rap. I know a lot of motherfuckers that can rap. Really, really good. I'm just gonna say that.
Shoot, they had Still Dreaming on there too. Like, come on, man. Like,
that's your shit. That's your shit. I'm gonna stick to New York State of Mind, bro. You know what I mean?
I fuck with all. Like I said, I'm biased. I'm the wrong person to have this conversation with.
Oh man! Shout out to my son. My son just texted me and said, "Love you, Dad."
All right, that's tight.
Shout out to James. I gotta text him back.
Last Friday, I bumped the Eric B. and Rakim's first album twice.
Word up,
man! It was
about timeless. Come on, yo,
man.
With the exception of Chinese arithmetic, that is a whole ass record.
I love
you. Funny.
I was like, what is this shit, yo? I mean, it's cool. It's like I don't know, like if you got to go outside and smoke a cigarette while you're listening to the record and just have one song to miss, that's definitely it. That shit was just weird as fuck to me because the whole album is flawless, and then that's just like, all right, I can't make it to the studio today. We got to put one more song on the record. Do that shit.
Hey, maybe it was so tight that I didn't even notice Chinese arithmetic. You know what I'm saying? It was so flawless, but I bumped it twice, and I was like, dang, Rakim was hard. Well, he is hard. He's hard.
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't notice this. I seen an interview with Will Smith recently where he was discussing how somebody asked him, did he bite Rakim on Summertime? You know what I mean? Because his whole flow. I mean, people thought
Rakim wrote that joint, didn't he?
Nah, I wrote it.
You saw the interview?
No, but come on, man.
Not saying like that.
He said he didn't write it, but he said he had the beat. He had the beat first, and he passed on it. And Will said, now this is the BS that Will said, but I think there's some truth to it. Will said that his throat was hoarse all day. He said he already turned in his album, and he said this beat was laying around. He said, let me just try it. And he said his voice couldn't get over a certain amount. So then he played it back, and he was like, I guess it kind of does, but he's like, whatever. But yeah, man, it's obvious.
That was.
I thought he wrote that. I thought the Rakim wrote that shit.
Nah, that story Jeremy just told was to sell. That was a well some publicist got paid a grip to construct that screenplay that Jeremy just said. I saw an interview where Nas said he got flown to Miami and he was like, okay, let me think. And he was thinking and he wrote the song.
Not that.
Summertime was like 91 though.
Summertime and Rakim.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. I'm thinking about the other song, the one Eminem.
Miami.
You're
talking about Miami. Yeah. Which that's another one that hasn't been verified. I don't know, but you always wonder what people think about Summertime and Rakim. You know what I mean? Like,
Summertime was the shit. Shout out to Will Smith and them hoe ass entanglements. We can talk about the fact that if their sexes, if it was like vice versa, let's talk about how Will Smith, they would have burnt his fucking house down.
Man,
she's at the crib chilling. We don't need to go there though. That's some bullshit. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like the industry would have pulled back from them.
Oh, come on. They would have fucking burned his shit to the ground. 13 more motherfuckers would have came out, said some shit.
Her shit blew up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's like, oh,
I'm gonna get a t-shirt. So they got entanglement t-shirts and shit now. Fuck out of here.
Speaking of which, they're actually having a Fresh Prince reunion. They're having a reunion.
No, but they having the crazy shit is they're having a reboot.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know
they
that.
Got a reboot. Okay. It was a fan that made like a little joint like a couple years ago or something. And Will Smith's seen the shit and he's funding it, and that's fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was.
The innocence of that is dope. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I fuck with that.
So tell me this: how did you meet Dilla?
Oh, he came in the record store one day.
The crack house.
I was working at the crack house. He came in. I was like, something about, we just started chopping it up and he was digging. Like I was about to get off of work. I was like, you want to smoke a joint? Got in the whip, put a tape in. And that was just like the first time I heard hip hop.
Dude, let me tell you something. Those tapes so famous.
Come on, man.
And but the thing about it was, okay, so I was telling Jeremy earlier today, I met Dilla a few times, but I knew JD. So I knew I knew a kid that came out to LA like 90, maybe the end of 93, 94. He really reserved to himself. He wasn't like just
he was there to work.
He was about beats. That's what he was about. You know what I'm saying? He was kind of taken back by LA a little bit, but he was really like he just he produced. But it's a trip because it's like, first of all, to get him to LA was the PharcydeTV had went out to New York and they were supposed to get some producers, and Q-Tip had turned them on. Had turned them on to JD.
Yep.
And when they had first got the tapes, they didn't even think that it was. They thought it was Q-Tip, like on like on some ghost producing. But like everybody who was around the PharcydeTV at that time, like I didn't know that what I was listening to in my car was what will become something that, man, people hold it very dear to heart. Like we didn't.
Absolutely.
We had no idea that it was just like, to me, it was like Al Jackson and Daz, their records that they play on steroids, but looped into these like, maybe he would give you, it would be so many beats. It would just be so many, it'd be so many. And you can drive and listen to it. And then to see him come into the studio, that was really amazing. And it's so funny. I remember one time, I tell this story all the time. He was playing the drums on something. It had to do with Lab Cap. And he was playing the drums. And it was just me and him in the studio at the time. It was like, because they would block out a studio for like, that's when you had budgets and you could just, different people would come by at different times and the producer would just be there for days, just, getting stuff down, listening, mixing, whatever. So I remember hearing JD on the drums and I was like, hey man, I want to break you off some bread, man. I want to get a club cracking, man. I think you'd be dope on the drums. You know what I'm saying? And then for me to have that conversation, and then after Lab Cabin on up into the 2000s, for him to be this DJ that, like, not DJ, I'm sorry, this producer that's kind of like world renowned.
The best.
Dude, amazing, dude. Amazing. But I saw it though, like if you ever saw, which I'm sure you did, if you saw him in the studio, it's kind of like when you're around somebody and you know, like people might not know it, but you're like,
he was making the beats in like 15 minutes.
Dude.
You know what I'm saying? When I say he's the best, I'm not speaking, that's not really from opinion. Nobody, you know, he didn't fuck with keyboards and shit. This is records. Nobody could fucking make them records sound like that. Nobody could take a record and do what he could do with it. And that's just period, point blank. That's science, yo. That's like arguing with Dr. whoever the fuck on this COVID shit. Nah, can't nobody else do that.
I remember going to watch Raphael Sadiq. He performed at a Kiss and Grind for Victor Duplay. And basically what he did was he brought a guitar out, and then Victor Duplay would play a song, and then he might sing or he might play a little something, but he was kind of giving you like the backstory on all this stuff.
Word.
And when he started going into D'Angelo and talking about Dilla, and it was one story that he had told where, like, I want to say maybe D'Angelo and Raphael Sadiq weren't the coolest at the time. Just on some artist stuff. They worked together. They were like, I want to say they had a production team at one time or something like that or whatever. And Raphael Sadiq was like, man, Dilla was the glue. He was like, man, Dilla had me come to the studio, and I came to the studio and D'Angelo was there. And then Raphael Sadiq had broke down how his relationship with D'Angelo was to the level of where Raphael Sadiq wrote Girlfriend. No, You're My Lady. You're My Lady.
Yeah.
That's what he did. That's what he wrote. And I was like, dang. So when you met Dilla, I mean, at that time in Detroit, did he have the major buzz? Did people get it?
Hell no. This is before any of that shit. This was like 94. It's like he had just started fucking with Tip.
Okay.
Like, I got the test press for Drop.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, I wrote all them records.
Wow.
I was the DJ. I wasn't his DJ. I was the city's DJ. You know what I mean? And when I became aware of a motherfucker from our own city who was better than anybody at doing what he does, I crammed that shit down everybody's throat. I don't give a fuck. And everybody wasn't happy about that shit. You see all these motherfuckers now like, yeah, bitch, you was fronting back in the day. 'Cause I wasn't playing your record.
Hey, I'll say it. I don't have no friends to keep. Hey, man, Delicious was not feeling him, dude. At that time, they weren't. And it was like, dude, Brown had to fight to get him. Like, dude, they were like, how are you gonna go to New York and deal with all these producers and the Q-tips and try talk to Mos Def and deal with all these people, and you got this guy that nobody knows about? Like, so you want us to put this album in the hands of this guy that we don't know anything about? And dude,
goddamn right we do. Goddamn right we do.
Yeah, man, they stayed with their conviction, man. And I'll say that yeah, man, he was a very gifted dude.
And
man.
motherfuckers was saying that he ruined Tribe Called Quest. He ruined the Far Side. He ruined Common.
No.
And now they all just dick handlers, man. Like, stick to the script, man. Like, keep that energy. That's what they say. Like, keep that energy, yo.
I like that.
A lot of you motherfuckers look funny, man. Like, you was not saying that shit.
The Electric Ladyland album, the one that him and Common did there. Oh, that was dope.
Yeah.
That was
nobody liked that shit when it came out. In Detroit, nobody liked that shit. You know what I mean? I can't, like, oh, that shit's crazy. He's on some wild shit.
He was
what the fuck is he supposed to do? He's supposed to make the record you want him to make? Get the fuck out of here.
Right. Nah, he was ahead of his time.
That shit was space, man. Jay stayed 10 years ahead. He been gone for 15 years. And motherfuckers still ain't came close to catching up.
I feel like they still use his records on new music.
Absolutely. Still be chopping his drums up off the beat tapes too.
Mm-hmm. I was cool with Aloe Black a few years ago, and I seen you were affiliated with him. I was wondering if you had any stories or what's your relationship with him.
Aloe is fucking one of the nicest and realest people I've ever met in my life. He took me to Europe for the first time.
Wow.
First time I went to Europe, he set all that shit up. Yeah, he's incredible. Like literally the crib that my son was raised in was Aloe's crib.
Wow.
Like from when he was a child. Like he gave me that crib. He was like, I was like, yeah, fuck it. We need one anyway. I'll take it. Aloe's a good dude, man. One of the best, 100%. It ain't too many motherfuckers that ain't got at least a little piece of shit in them. Aloe ain't got no piece of shit in him except for the one that he's got to leave at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, I met my girl on his music video set, I'm the Man.
Okay.
Years before we linked up, but it was kind of like a thing. She was like, "You was there too?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know." I was like, "Oh, I remember, you know." But yeah, I remember I was kicking with him on the set, and I told him a story. I forgot exactly what the story was, but you know how he was like trying to get in the frame of mind, trying to be all serious, and whatever I told him made him start dying laughing. So
like, imagine you fucked this video up.
I fucked his head up. He wasn't, but sometimes you need that just to break whatever, just be like, oh man, I gotta kill this, whatever. So then during one of the setups, he was like, he didn't have his car with him, but he was just like, man, I guess his wife was working on like a music video of her own same day at a different studio. So he was like, yo, he said, you drive here? And I was like, yeah. He was like, you mind giving me a ride somewhere? And it's like in the middle of the music video shoot. So then I asked the first AD, I was like, yo, he want to leave? And they was like, oh no, we can't have that. So they call around, they panicking. They was like, yo, shoot, y'all got 30 minutes. What they didn't know was we was already in the car gone. I mean, he wanted to go. But my car wasn't the best at the time, so I'm explaining stuff. I'm like, yeah, ignore that crack in the windshield. Don't worry about the left-hand turn signal. But yeah, man, he's always been thorough. I haven't talked to him in some years, but always a real one.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to Aloe.
Also, I wanted to ask you, what was the process of creating your album, Let It Go?
When I first made it, I made it as an instrumental record because the beats are more important to me than rappers. You know what I mean? Just got to have a movement to it. So I got all the beats together and I sequenced the record. And then I just hit all the homies up. Like, those are all the homies. I don't do records with strangers.
Right.
So hit them up, send them the beats. The majority of the motherfuckers turn that shit in rather quickly, and we had a record. That's simple.
You feel like the process was that record more significant to you than the mixes and all the other stuff you made? Or
it's my first record. I mean, it's on vinyl. That's my first record. You know what I mean? Like, that's my first proper. I had to shout to YG and a bunch of the other, shout to JD, man. Like, they used to be like, we appreciate you sharing all your energy and sharing our shit with everybody. You got to do your own shit, man. Like, you got some shit, and it's time for motherfuckers to hear your shit. So, better late than never. You know what I mean?
Is there something to the name Let It Go?
Absolutely. It was a lot of drama with shit back at the crib at that time. Yeah, I mean, I remember one day it was like 8 meanings to that shit, but the main one was just, keep it moving, man. Mm-hmm. Let it fucking go. Stop holding on to shit that's slowing you down. Like, when you holding on to shit, you're holding on to it. That's fucking up your forward progression. You know what I mean? Let that shit go. For better, for worse. It could be the best of the worst for you, but as long as you're walking forward, that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your transition like moving to LA from Detroit?
Oh, I fucking hit the ground running, bro. I got here on July 6th, 2006. I went to the Do-Over the next day.
Okay.
And that was like It just felt like a red carpet. I was like, damn, these motherfuckers get down like this out here.
Heavyweight. Oh man, I've had some of the greatest times at the
Unbelievable.
Do-Over. I
The
can
OG joints at Cranes was just some of the most special shit. Like, I hold some of those days up in the same regard as I hold some of those nights at St. Andrews fucking 25 years ago. You know what I mean? Just hearing your favorite DJ play his favorite music.
Yeah.
Not what he thinks everybody else want to hear. Like the cutty shit that he wants to inform you about on a fucking Sunday afternoon in Los Angeles. And it's like, you know, less than 100 people.
And no promoter saying, you need to play this, you need to play that. People aren't dancing.
Yeah, suck my dick, man. That shit was incredible, bro. Like those days, Jesus.
Hey,
It was fucking 2 to 10, you would get destroyed. I would love, there was nothing more entertaining than like bringing a homie and just knowing what they're gonna go through, knowing how trash they're gonna get, and then bitch, you gotta get yourself together. This is the do-over. Like it's 10 hours. Like, you don't get fucked up with the do-over and go home. Like you shake that shit off and keep it moving. You know what I mean?
Hey, I've had a homie from New York that manages one of your favorite rappers, one of all of our favorite rappers. And yeah, man, he LA wore him out, man. The do-over was too much, man.
Man, I remember the first time Illa J came to the motherfucking do-over. I tucked him into his bed that night, yo.
Hey, man.
I carried him into his apartment, took his shoes off, put him in the motherfucking bed. He was on the curb. He was out on the curb. A lot of motherfuckers ended up out on that curb, man.
LA is live, man. Or was live. I won't say is live. Right now, we ain't really too live.
Right.
But the do-over, I could say I've been to about 3 of them.
Word.
I never wore it out. I was at one. I think my most memorable one, I was there with De La. It was De La rolled through and Dave hit me up. I want to say Dave hit me up or Smiles and said they were gonna go. So I met him up there, and I want to say Guru might have been there, or no, it was Premier. It was Premier and Freddie Gibbs, and just like it was some rap. It was hip hop. I say that was hip hop in LA.
I remember the last time I DJ'd at Cranes, fucking I can't remember my man's name, but fucking hold up. Click that off. We back?
Yeah.
All right. Fucking Avon was in that bitch. Avon Barksdale. I was DJing. I was like, yo, shout to Avon Barksdale and this motherfucker. The crowd went crazy. And he was like,
yeah. That's funny. Avon Barksdale.
He's one of my favorite actors, man.
He's great, man.
He's one of my favorite actors. And his brother is Steve Harris. He plays the dude that kicked the girl out the car in that Tyler Perry movie.
I don't be fucking with no Tyler Perry movies, bro.
Jeremy, well, social Jeremy know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm not an expert on Tyler Perry movies, but give me a little more.
Man,
I got no beef with Tyler.
Nah,
book me.
come on. Let me. I'm not a closet Tyler Perry movie watcher with fuzzy slippers. With fuzzy slippers eating ice cream on the couch. That's not So what's up, Shoes? So from you DJing the little clubs in LA and all that kind of stuff, where were you when the Rona jumped off?
Actually, I'm super grateful that I got this last joint in Atlanta. Shout to the homie Stolen Drums. Shout to Controllerized family. They got this crazy, they had, hopefully it'll be back, knock on wood. They got a Monday night in Atlanta based around beats, video games, and anime. and they average 500 people a week.
My type of party.
Yo, this is the fucking craziest shit, bro. Like a Monday night in Atlanta, like where you would think it would be probably like just mega regular. You know what I'm saying?
50 people.
Yo, unbelievable, yo. It was a fucking incredible night. And then like all the, mad Detroit homies moved to Atlanta. So like all the Detroit homies came out, like Bizarre was there, the homie JC was there. And it was just a fucking incredible night. So, you're waiting up until the very time of the fucking party to make sure, thankfully it went off. It could have been canceled, but it didn't. Went back to the crib and sat the fuck down. And I'm still sitting down. I'm chilling, man. Like I got, I'm compromised. I'm trying to quit these motherfucking square. I actually, I'm gonna start rolling my own cigarettes and try to just kind of get off of this shit because, I be waking up in the middle of the night dying and shit sometimes. That shit is fucked up. And it's not the best time to be having fucked up lungs. So
yeah,
I'll try to get ahead of that. You know what I mean? But I'm not coming out the crib. Don't book me for no parties, motherfucker. I'm in the crib till at the earliest, My birthday is March 28th. Hopefully I can have a birthday party with real people. But if not, I ain't gonna sweat it, man. Like I got kids, I got much greater responsibilities, in this world than just this fucking music. So I'm just grateful that I'm slightly financially responsible. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about shit. If I don't work, I don't work. Make my money work for me.
Yeah. No, that's man, it's that real, man. I didn't think that it was gonna be as serious as it was until someone called me and it was someone that works with my dad.
Right.
And they were like, and he has his own business, an insurance business. And they were like, do you have a plan to shut the business down? And then I was like, and it was like, it was the week of the week of the curfews and all that kind of stuff. And so I said, well, I'll talk to him about it. And then I'll hit you in like 2 or 3 days. She was like, She said, I need one in 2 hours.
Oh, really?
And I was like, dang.
Yeah, shit got real, yo.
I mean, literally in like 3 days, we were shut down.
Yeah.
3 days we were shut down. And it was a trip because like for me, I just, I'm in my own world, man. Like going out really ain't like, man, I'd hit Motown Mondays maybe once every
couple
months. Yeah, for me it'd be like 5 months, 4 months. I'd hook up with OPO, something like that. We cruise through for a brew. But as far as being out, that really wasn't my thing. So like I didn't miss too much. But in a crazy kind of way, I felt sorry for the people that like, man, going out is their life. I mean, beyond the jobs and all that shit that got lost. But it's some people, they can't be in the house.
I'll tell you some real shit, man. I have never in my life spent 1 second giving a fuck about the economy. You know what I mean? All that matters is my personal economics. I don't give a fuck about no economy. But being in the range of people that are past the finish line for this shit. You know what I mean? Like, is that motherfucking spot you used to DJ at even gonna be open? They said on Yelp, fucking like 65% of the restaurants that temporarily closed are permanently closed. You know what I mean? Then you start thinking about, well, damn, it probably was like, 10 or 15 employees at each of them spots. And it just like, and
on and on.
And then you got to be like, okay, I'm checking out. Let me turn all that shit off that I was just allowing to happen and just keep doing my motherfucking thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because this shit is terrifying if you sit down and really think about it. Yeah. Like, what's really on the other side of this shit is fucking like the shit that, like, there's so much shit that nobody's even discussed. Just sections of society that need assistance and aid, and they are so like, I'm a DJ, man. Like, don't nobody give a fuck about no DJ right now. And I'm cool with that. I have no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Let's fucking have priorities and take care of the shit that really fucking matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll say it's been like a purge for me, a purge, a cleanse. I've been a lot more focused. I'll tell you that.
It's time to refine yourself, man. Like, what the fuck? Like, you ain't got shit else to do but sit at the crib. You better figure out some way to make yourself better. You know what I mean? Or you're fucking this whole shit off. You need to be on the respirator.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's 9 o'clock.
What are the what are the 3 most amazing moments you witnessed in hip hop?
So that's personal with me. I tell people I've seen three superstars in my life. First superstar I saw was M at the hip hop shop. Just retarded. You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna be on he's gonna get on a plane one day soon, and he's gonna come back to an entirely different ecosystem in his life. You know what I mean? Second one was Danny Brown at the release party for his first album, Hot Soup, that I DJ'd in Detroit in 2008. I believe it was a couple years after I moved out here. That night was crazy because half of the crowd knew every word to his shit, and the other half of the crowd didn't know who the fuck he was off the street. But 2 songs in, you couldn't tell the difference between any of them.
Wow.
Like, he had them all wide the fuck open. It was crazy. Wow. Number 3 would be Anderson .Paak. He had a monthly residency at the Lyric on La Brea. This was probably about 5 years ago.
Yeah, I went to those shows.
Now, I did a party with him and Shafiq at Nola's probably about, I don't know, like 10, 12 years ago. It's so crazy. I've been there so goddamn long. And he was really, really dope. Really dope. Music was fucking incredible. Crazy drummer. Crazy stage presence. But, you know, it's a party. Get drunk as fuck. I don't remember that shit the next day. Still got the CD he gave me that night. When I seen him at the fucking joint on La Brea, the crowd was like 90%, damn near children, like young kids, like not even like, you know what I'm saying, like 16-year-olds type shit. They knew every fucking word to his shit. It was crazy, you know what I mean? And I told him that night, I was like, yo, you're about to get on the plane, bro. Like, in the next 6 months, you're gonna get on the plane. And what you're gonna come back to is not gonna be what you left. You know what I mean? That's my 3 little superstars.
Can you tell me to get on a plane?
Hey man, get on the plane, bro. Don't get on the plane right now, though, goddamn. Don't get on no fucking plane right now, bro. You might not make it back in a whole nother fashion. You know what I mean? Come back in a box.
Man, nah, man. So with this whole Twitch thing and all the DJs on Twitch and everybody kind of competing, well, it's not really competing anymore. I think the first maybe week or 2 weeks of quarantine, everybody was grabbing like.
Everybody just trying to figure this shit out, man. You know what I mean? I can't DJ for nobody in the club, and I feed off of that. I like to play good music for fucking good people. So I'm grateful, you know what I mean? Like, I got my little, you know, whatever, 40, 50 people. The way I look at it is, I like being a secret. I'm not for everybody. Like, many facets of my personality and my output are not for everybody. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to serve everybody. I'm trying to serve the motherfuckers that want me to serve them. You feel me? So I jump in that room and we talk our little shit. Like, you can't fit more than 40 people in my crib, literally. So I kind of like that. You know what I mean? Let's keep it honest. I do 8 hours every Monday. Get fucking faded up in this bitch, just playing joints. It ain't no DJ shit. Like, I'm not up in here beat juggling. I'm just playing y'all joints. And most of the time, you know, it's more geared towards shit that you're not familiar with. I've always felt that the DJ should educate a motherfucker. Fuck playing that robot shit. These motherfuckers, all they know. Like, a teacher doesn't ask the student what they want to learn today. You know what I mean? Come, I got you all day over here.
All good. So what's up, man? We about to wrap up this episode, but you want to shout out your Twitch, let them know where they can find you, social media, the whole
No doubt. Twitch TV / Shoes House, Instagram / shoes / house shoes, Instagram / Street Corner SCM. That's the label, Street Corner Music. StreetCornerSCM.com. That's the gold mine. That's all the records. I finally made a bunch of t-shirts and fucking coffee mugs for you motherfuckers, so you can go over there and spend some money. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it. Mixcloud. If y'all want to just listen to mixes, I got like fucking 100 mixes up there. All kinds of special guests. The last set we did before the shutdown was Sick Jackin' playing all 45s.
Oh wow.
Heavy ass set, yo. Like,
hold on one second.
Very expensive set. Like the records that he played in that set's probably worth, you add all them bitches up, you're talking about like 10 racks.
Sick Jackin' plays
Absolutely.
Damn.
So he's an oldie dude. Like he got the crazy oldie 45s, yo.
Yeah.
He beat it up over here. He beat it the fuck up, like straight up.
That's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And so what's up with you, Jeremy? What you got popping?
I have a show that I'll be on that premieres, I think, tomorrow on YouTube called Hypothetical Debate. It's pretty much a show where, like, the topics don't matter. We just go back and forth. They make a switch sides. They're really dumb. But it's just you really trying to prove your point. I remember the main one for me and the other person I was going against was TLC versus Destiny's Child, and I had Destiny's Child. And I just straight up said, yo, T-Boz can't, I said, yeah, TLC stand for T-Boz can't sing, Left Eye can't rap, and Chili can't dance. And I was like, yo, too much. But you know, it's like it's all fake opinions. It don't matter. So other than that, check that out. That's my boy Sean G. He produced that. But yeah, everything else was it? I said Instagram, Jeremy Comedy, and of course, JeremyScipio.com.
Word up.
Nah, that's tight. Well, shoot, man. Nah, man, we got some new stuff coming up with Splendid. We'll keep you guys tuned in. I want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure you tune in next Monday for the rebroadcast. I want to thank you, Shoes, for sliding through and giving us your opinion.
No, absolutely. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah.
Street Disciple.
I knew it was coming. I was like, I hope he don't say that. I hope he don't say that.
Revisit. It's been 20 years. Not even that long.
All I can hear is like, oh, you're saying this, and all I hear is the train from the beginning of the Genesis off of Illmatic Plan. I hear the train drowning you out. You put it for this shit.
All right, I can't.
Much respect, salute y'all, man. Like, hopefully he'll make another record that I like one day. I will say this: the one thing that was absolutely incredible on his album, no shots, all the shots. AZ's verse. I'll see y'all later.
Oh, no. It's all good. AZ had he deserved all that credit. It's all good.
Absolutely, yo.
All good. That's the best hip hop feature all time. Straight up.
And listen, I respect him to the till. You know, it's just for me. And like, Nas ain't gotta make a record for me. He already made one.
Word.
All right, so y'all, peace. Thanks for tuning in. Splendid Radio on PharcydeTV.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.